Hey, this is Coach Chris Wilson, certified brain health trainer. If you want sharper focus, faster recall, and steady mental energy, meet NeuroThrive from Critical Nutrition Labs. It's powered by clinically studied Bacopa for memory, Alpha GPC for brain energy, and PQQ to protect and recharge your brain cells. This isn't just a brain booster, it's full spectrum support for focus, memory, and healthy aging. Visit criticalnutritionlabs.com and look for the flash sale, 20% off at the top of the page. NeuroThrive. Clarity you can feel, confidence that lasts.
That fleshly being that's now what, and needs the next thing.
Yeah.
That is what Jesus came to crucify.
That's right.
When Christ died, our old self died with him.
Yeah.
We've got to accept that sacrifice and place ourselves on the cross with Christ and try to connect with our own life. We're running from our lives. We're running from the little boy who got hurt in childhood and when he was a kid and scared out of his mind. That's what everybody's running from. They're running from themselves. And so Comeback Kings isn't about making comebacks to, getting your mansion back and your Lamborghini it's about turning around and coming back to yourself, God, to the kingdom.
The prodigal son?
That's 100% correct. Yeah. Because in the world's eyes, it's weak. I guarantee you now, in the world's eyes, I personally look weak.
We believe that you are strong by design, and you were made in God's image to have a strong body, mind, and spirit. You're listening to the #1 strength and health authority podcast in the world. So let's get ready to unlock your potential and transform your life in today's episode. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode here on the Strong by Design podcast. Hosting today, Coach Chris Wilson. No doubt you can tell because it's brightly lit here in the compound today. We actually don't typically put the overhead lights on if we are rolling the podcast out here, but today it's kind of an overcast, dark day, and I didn't want to be filming us in the dark. So we had to do some overhead lights, but so excited to have you. Thank you for joining us on this week's episode. Have a terrific conversation coming with a new friend, brand new guest that was introduced to me a couple of weeks ago, and really excited to hear more about his story and share it with you guys, because I think it would be a huge help, especially to you men listening and to you wives listening. Maybe you need to share this with your husbands after you get to hear it and hear our friend Preston's story. I'll tell you a little bit about Preston before we get going. Preston Ely is an entrepreneur. He's a speaker and a coach. He's best known for helping men rebuild their lives through his movement, Comeback Kings, which you're going to hear a lot about today. After experiencing both massive success and devastating setbacks, which we're going to dig into first, he has dedicated his life to teaching resilience, faith-driven leadership, and authentic personal branding. He's the CEO of Comeback Kings, and he leads a thriving community that blends business coaching with spiritual growth. Coaching with spiritual growth. Oh, sorry, I'm reading this, obviously. Offering men tools to reclaim their identity and purpose. I typically don't read bios, but I'm doing it today, as you can tell. Featured on numerous podcasts, he has shared his passion for turning failure into fuel and raising up kingdompreneurs who live with impact beyond status or wealth. Preston, it's really great to have you here. Obviously, so much of this, what I just said, falls into line with the Strong by Design brand and our mantra.
That's like the best intro I've ever heard.
Oh,
I didn't write that.
No, you didn't write it.
Who came up with that?
I put it together.
Okay.
With a little help from chat.
Send it to me so I can give it to other podcast hosts and have them start
it's
it
good.
off right.
I kind of flubbed the middle there because it's hard to read sometimes and look at the camera and look at you out of the corner of your eye. So
I'm incredibly good looking.
It's really hard to get over the looks. I mean, in terms of good looks, we're really checking some big boxes today, both of us.
We're sitting here in a full-out LA Fitness looking gymnasium that is apparently yours personally. Did you just work out like before I got here? Because you're like, you got the veins and the...
No. I did do a workout last night from home, oddly enough. I'm here all day long working in my crazy office that you saw. And sometimes I look up and I'm like, oh, it's 6:30, 6:45. I got to get the heck out of here. I'm going to get yelled at. And I get home, and my wife had already taken my daughter to dance. So it's just my son and I. Well, he's
Your daughter dances? My daughter's dancing.
Yeah, she dances. She loves it. And so they're at dance right across the street. But I'm like, well, I got time to kill. The game's not on yet. I'm going to work out. I didn't work out today, even though I have a gym outside my office. So I did a workout last night.
Do your daughters dance, or do they dance?
No, she dance. She does hip hop. She does lyrical, which I guess is kind of almost like where you blend like acting and lines with dance, and it's pretty interesting. She's been doing it for years. She loves it.
Yeah.
Does recitals twice a year, and the big on the
Competitions?
stage. Okay. So she doesn't. So her dances. She's part of a dance studio, and they prepare choreographed stuff. It's called Studio 7. It's up in Newport Richey, up where I live, and it's a nice little studio. It's outside my neighborhood. And it's a bunch of girls that she's friendly with from school, and they do, choreographed routines and stuff. The hip hop is like kind of her jam, and she has a blast. She's 10. She's having a good time,
My daughter's the same age.
Yeah.
And somehow she's putting in 3 to 4 hours a day. And
oh, wow. Good for her. Yeah, my daughter's not quite that serious. She does softball too, so I think she's leaving some room for other stuff.
Mine are training for the Dance Olympics.
Oh,
apparently.
wow.
They're really good.
Yeah.
Really, really
good. I
good.
imagine. Yeah, some girls can get super serious with it, and it's amazing. It's impressive what they're capable of doing from a very young age if they're putting in those hours.
With everything that I have been through, which
Yeah.
we'll get into,
Yeah.
sometimes I get tempted to say, okay, the dance thing is too much.
Yeah.
We're going
Yeah.
the amount of money, the amount of time that it's taken from them, the amount of time that it can take away from family.
Yeah.
Man, it kind of saved their lives. Gave them just something to. Does that make sense?
I think it's very important to be at a young age to be able to attach yourself to something that you're passionate about that also does a good job of socializing you.
Sure.
And you're in community and stuff. And obviously, we know how valuable that is. And when kids don't have organized stuff going on in their lives, it leaves the door wide open for them getting involved in stuff they don't need to be getting involved in. And nowadays, that's on devices too much, and that's seeing stuff or hearing stuff that you don't need to be seeing or hearing at a young age. So I'm a huge advocate. I've coached in fact, this is the first season I'm not coaching baseball in 8 years, but I've been coaching baseball for a long time with my son.
Kids?
Yeah, my son is, he'll be 14 in a couple of months, and actually next month, September, isn't it? Yeah. So, and I love it, and I love baseball, and but it's, it can be a lot.
It's a lot.
But it does a great job of, they're around their buddies, they're doing something, a skill that they're seeing measurable improvement in. They're learning about competition. Hopefully, if they have a good coach or good teammates or whatever, they're learning about how to win right and how to lose right.
Yeah.
There's so many lessons in it, and I've talked about this in previous podcasts. That being part of team sports, whatever the sports, could be a dance team, could be baseball, could be football, basketball. It doesn't matter what the sport is. I think it's a disservice to your kids if they're not involved in those things from a young age. Because I learned a lot in Pop Warner football and the local baseball association growing up. I grew up in Connecticut. I learned a lot about hard work, and stuff doesn't come easy. And sometimes you do your best and you still lose, and all these lessons
But doing it with other people.
But doing it with other people.
Yeah.
And not to take away from the individual sports and stuff. Those are highly valuable too. If you're...
It takes a whole different type of
courage. It is totally a wrestler, a tennis player, whatever.
Fighter.
But you're still part of. There's a team still.
Yeah.
It's just an individual competition, but there's still a team to it. So anyway, I could talk. I could be a whole podcast talking about the value of sports and competition and organized, being around the coaches and the mentors and stuff. the relationships that you build with those people, as you have with mentors and stuff in your life, those are some of the strongest relationships that you have in your life, and you can fall back on those anytime you need them, which is awesome. So I do want to know more about, and I've listened to some of your previous interviews and podcasts, but it's always different when you have somebody in the room with you and you can ask your own questions and stuff. I want to go back. I know you were roughly the same age. You were a hardworking guy, success-driven guy from the mid-'90s through the early 2000s. Things were coming to you. The harder you worked, the more things came, and the more they probably started to feel like they were coming easier because, that momentum is hard to stop.
Yeah.
Kind of fast forwarding through all that success, I want to go right to when the success ceased.
Yeah.
Like, what was that moment like for you, and what was your realization that, wow, all this hard work and all this success, and this is not what it's cracked up to be. I'm not getting out of this what I thought I would.
Yeah. So it was kind of a slow descent.
Okay.
That's what was so insidious about how the devil got me in this whole thing. I think he's smart enough to know he knows how to get us. Right? So does God. Right? And that they both kind of go hand in hand. Story of Job.
Right.
Right?
Yeah. I'm reading. I just started reading it.
If you get to the
2 or 3 days ago, actually.
Yeah, you get to the end of Job. Look at the last chapter. His friends and family came to Job to console him for all the evil that the Lord had brought upon him.
Right. In their eyes.
So no, that's, I don't think so.
Well, obviously he was having conversations with the devil,
That's
saying,
right.
"Sure, go. I'm giving you permission to go ahead and do this."
The devil does these things to wreck our lives, but you've also got this wise, loving, good God, Father, who's behind the scenes. It's not his fault, but he's orchestrating the whole thing.
Yeah.
He's putting buffers in place. He's making sure that everything only gets so far, and it's all according to his plan and for his glory.
Yeah, he was noticing every time Satan said, "Hey, can I do this?" He would give him a parameter. Yes, but
yeah, there's this. What's the revelation I'm having lately? Romans 8:28. For we know all things work together for good to those that love God.
Yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. For those that love God, that's plural. Right? We like to think of that as singular. We like to think of everything as singular. We like to think of everything as personal. My walk with God, my journey with the Lord. This is a family affair. We're all connected. God is skillfully, masterfully weaving 8 billion stories together.
Yeah.
So that it all works out for everybody. I just had this epiphany not that long ago.
It's the ripple effect in the pond, right? Surely, no doubt, you've been somewhere, maybe on a trip, where there was a beautiful lake or a pond, and it was morning or evening, and it was just still and beautiful, like glass. Looked like you could just skate across it. And you throw out a pebble, and it creates that ripple. What happens when you throw another pebble out? Well, one ripple becomes 2 ripples, and those ripples kind of mingle with each other. And if you kept doing that, and that's in my mind how I picture our lives, and there's so much massive crossover, and you don't know where one ripple became another ripple, and which one started which and stuff, but there's massive overlap, and they become like tangled together, and it looks like chaos. But it's still this beautiful glass pond, right, or lake, and it's still calm.
Everything's working together.
They all kind of just working together. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting way that nature can paint the chaos of our lives into a very beautiful sounding picture, And
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it, man.
I think I think I'm stealing it from somebody, no doubt, that I heard.
Yeah, it sounded way too good.
Years ago, that these ripples all kind of come together, and in a very beautiful way that we just aren't capable of understanding. We can't see the big
Okay, well,
picture.
imagine the pebble is a person.
Yeah.
And it's enjoying its ripple,
Sure.
and then it gets mad because another ripple came across it,
Yeah.
right? Think of what I've realized lately. I'll get mad at God when he doesn't give me what I want because it makes no sense.
Right.
God, this is a good thing, and if I don't have it, then I won't be able to do this good thing.
Yeah.
And if that, then this.
Yeah.
Think about what has to happen for you to get let's say you need $10,000. God, I need $10,000 by Friday, right? This is like, I have to have this. Think about how many things have to happen in the world for that $10,000 to show up, right?
Yeah.
Just picture like
Sure.
you've got people's lives involved.
No,
the
right.
$10,000
Probably not just coming from one guy who's giving you 10 grand.
You're talking about the supply chain.
Right.
It's that like 10,000 things have to all come together
Right.
for you to get that
That's
$10,000.
right. Yeah, right.
And so at the heart of this whole thing is surrender, man.
Right.
Like that's where I'm at. Is
Yeah.
just getting to the place where I don't just conceptually understand that I'm not in control of all the pebbles and all the ripples and where the $10,000 comes from and the 8 billion people. It's actually helpful to stay aware of all that, right? That there's this master plan, not just for me, right? God's got a plan for your life, right? How many times do we hear that?
All the time.
It's not just about your plan, right? It's not just about my plan. This is a family affair. This is a kingdom affair. There's more going on than just me, than just you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we have to come to grips with that fact and just let go. You know what I mean? It's not about us.
Yeah. Imagine it in life if you always got what you wanted.
I mean, it sounds good, to be honest.
Sounds good for like maybe a day or a week, you know. But,
Well, that's the problem, is I did get everything I wanted.
right. So take us there. So you got everything you wanted. It's 2011.
And
it's
they were all good
2012.
things.
Yeah, yeah. You got success. You got the house. You're in a beautiful part of Florida.
I wasn't even necessarily like a materialist.
Right.
Right? I had nice things, but man, like...
But that wasn't what was driving you. It was
No.
it was the thrill of the success, or what was it?
It's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, is it that feeling that gamblers get when they're good, and it's just that, are they really there for the money?
There's a lot of reasons, guys. There's man, this could go in so many directions. You know, I think that we have our conscious goals. Currently, I have no goals. And it's a pretty freeing way to live.
Yeah.
The world would say that is irresponsible.
Right,
and you're
right.
kind of a loser.
Right.
Right?
Right. No goals. What do you mean no goals? You
Yeah.
have no goals?
Bro, I dropped out of the system, man. I dropped out. The whole sorry, I'm gonna make sure that thing doesn't go off. Let's get back to the point here. Keep reeling me in. We've got our conscious goals, but then we also have these subconscious goals, right? That are the real drivers of why we're doing what we're doing. And a lot of it comes from childhood, right? A lot of it, so for men, you know, but then you also have societal norms that we're conditioned in.
Sure.
If I don't have all this, I'm a loser.
Right,
and there's a shame factor.
And that's the
right?
superficial stuff, right? That's the stuff
Right.
that everyone else sees.
Right.
You know, the neighborhood, you know, your community, your coworkers, your, you know, friends.
But high-performing entrepreneurs, think about who these guys are.
Right.
You got to have some level of. So when we look at the very highest,
Yeah.
Steve Jobs, Elon Musk,
Sure.
like that's just kind of a blown up version of what we all are, who are driven entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Neurotic, psychotic. You have to be some level of crazy. I don't think in a great way.
Yeah, not necessarily a healthy
To just
way.
be
Yeah.
going 60,
Oh, yeah.
80, 100 hours a week and
Right.
not being kind to people and just like, we have to do this, bam, bam.
Yeah, grinding. But we're grateful for these people, right? The
That's
Elons
that's
and
the weird thing about it.
You know,
is,
the things that they've created, the big thinking that they've done, the teams they've assembled and stuff. It's amazing.
it's like I read the biography of Michael Jackson or
Yeah.
Michael Jordan or any of these guys at the very top of their
Michael
game.
Jackson was a perfectionist.
The most miserable human
Yeah.
being on the planet. But, so it's to your point, what happens when there's no, what's life without a moonwalk? What's life with no
That's what I'm
moonwalk?
saying. Or the music. My mom, had Michael Jackson tapes in her car, man. I mean,
Me too.
She maybe had a couple of other people, but she had all Michael Jackson's albums
Bro, what's
in the
life,
80s, man.
What's life with no dunk from the free throw line
Man,
with the tongue hanging out?
Well,
your
what's
mouth?
basketball without Jordan, dude? I mean, there's basketball before Jordan, and there's basketball since, but he changed it. He changed it forever.
But he was absolutely, positively, maybe still is, a miserable human being.
I've seen The Last Dance. I've seen, and I've
Did
seen
that look
enough-
like a healthy human being?
No,
to you?
no, not at all.
Like I actually thought he looked so
He
bad
was-
in that
yeah.
that I thought we were going to get to the end of that and like hear like the reason for it. Like, okay, here's the lesson that I learned, but they just left it open.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm like, man, dude, like. But so that's the weird. That's the
Yeah.
weird thing. And so
Yeah.
the only thing so it's like, how do you reconcile that? Is an unhealthy way to go about getting what I think are good things for the world. At this point, I'm not quite as sure about things as
Right.
I used to. Is the
Right.
world better because of an iPhone? I don't know. Right? Yes, it could be used for good. I know.
Sure.
I know all the arguments. Right? But an argument could be made that a world without technology at all,
Right. Is a better world.
it might be a better world.
Yeah.
We could get to heaven and find out that the Amish had it right the whole time.
Yeah, right, sure.
Personally,
Although
I would bet on it.
They're still able to use those technologies. They just can't own them or something, right? Because they can still take car rides. I've seen Amish people in video.
when new technology comes out, the Amish get together
Yeah.
and they have a meeting.
Yeah.
And they say, okay, is this new piece of technology,
Yes.
is this going to bring us closer together
Right.
or farther apart?
Right.
And they make the decision as a community.
Yeah.
Are we gonna allow this
Right.
as a community, right? And then they base it on that decision.
Yeah.
Is it going to separate us or is it going to bring us together? So, like in the case of the car, they played the movie forward. If everybody has a car, exactly what has happened will happen. Kids will move across the country.
Yeah, oh,
the family
separation,
unit
yes.
will break up.
Oh, for
and
sure.
They were right.
Yeah, they're
You know?
totally right.
So
that
but-
is a big problem. That's a great topic too. It's obviously an aside type of conversation, but
The breakup of the family.
The breakup of the family is like the destruction of our country.
And social media just takes it one more,
Of course.
which ironically we're adding to right this moment, right?
Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, I mean, it's
but
the world that we do live in, and
There's better to have stuff like this out there,
Yes, of course.
than a lot of the other stuff, right?
Yeah,
And so
that's
that
what we're
just-
trying to do.
God brings good out of bad. Period.
Yeah, he can.
I did a lot of bad. I did a lot of unwise, harmful things, and from where I'm sitting, everyone is better off for it, including me, especially me.
Yeah.
Do I wish I would have never made any of those mistakes? Do I wish I would have never been made irresponsible, rash investments? Right? Of course. Right? Do I wish I had never just all the dumb stuff I did, like tapped out from all the pain that I was enduring from business not going well, from me not knowing who I was in the business world anymore, and tapping out to prescription medication.
Yeah.
which just absolutely devastated my life and my whole family. Do I wish I had done it? Yes, but I can just see it, and I'm playing the movie forward, which this is a skill that men need to develop, the ability to look back, to just be self-aware, and just kind of look, don't be so focused in the moment. Oh my gosh, I did all these bad things. Think big, think bigger, think deeper, right? I just had this conversation with my psychologist yesterday, who I've been going to for 25 years. I'll never stop going to him. Everybody should find a solid, wise psychologist to go to. Actually, no, this was in my Comeback Kings, my communities meeting. I just realized we had this epiphany. I'm like, you know what? Is it possible that breaks in relationship is actually a blessing? Is that actually like an opportunity in that? If handled appropriately.
Yeah.
Like if handled appropriately, God doesn't want it. Nobody wants it. But he let evil into this world for a reason. He allowed it for a reason. And that reason, according to his nature, has got to be good. Right? And so every time, so let's say, for instance, you get in a fight with your son. Right? You scream at him. And you slam the door and you walk out. This is actually what happened with one of my members in our community. And we were all just, he was in tears, man. And we were all just rallying around him, trying to like.
He had a grown
help
son?
him get through it.
Or a...
He 17-year-old son.
Okay, it's grown son. Yeah.
And so
he ended up falling out with his kid.
Yeah. But then he went to church and he had this epiphany that he shouldn't have done what he did, met with his son afterwards, manned up, did what almost no parents do, but should. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Please forgive me. And so they both had this, and then they both cried and
they reconciled
and
and got past it. Yeah.
But there's something healthy in that.
Yeah.
There's something, if that had never happened,
right?
And this is just an example.
Yeah.
Right?
Of course.
If that had never happened, they would have just like kept moving with kind of like not much happening. But as it is, they're closer together now. Of
course.
Their relationship has, you know what I mean?
I'm tracking with that. I think of it this way too, and I've used this with my customer. I oversee the customer support team that we have here at Critical Bench, and I used this as a teaching point. I said, you know, in life, in business, as a consumer, when you have a bad experience with a company that you buy something with, could be anything that you purchase, you have a bad experience, and you go back to that company with your displeasure, your dissatisfaction. Maybe the goods are bad, the service was bad, a combination of those things, whatever it was. And you're upset, you're angry, you're pissed off. You would give them a less than 1-star rating if you had the capacity to do that. But you're handled properly by that company.
This never happens at Critical Bench, of course.
This never happens at Critical. Hey, we've dropped the ball, right? Everybody does. Yeah. But you go back and you have contact with the business to reconcile the situation, to fix it, to take care of it, to do it, handle it properly, and they do.
And maybe even go above and beyond.
And now, are you a lifelong customer? Probably.
Yeah.
Now, maybe not. Maybe you're just happy that it was resolved and you're going to move past that and you're going to go seek, doing your business elsewhere. But if you're taken care of the right way, you can become an advocate for that business and say, listen, it didn't go the way it was supposed to. They owned it.
Yeah.
And I was taken care of in a way I've never experienced before. I will never do my business elsewhere. Mm-hmm. I will always buy a car from said company or whatever. And I think that's what you're saying in relationship. When you have these breaks or you have these moments where it doesn't go right, whether it's with a kid, a spouse, a close friend, a coworker, you have these breaks and it creates massive tension and it's really uncomfortable, but you're able to come together and somebody's willing to own, or both people are willing to own where they went wrong.
You get to experience grace.
Yeah. And it's a stronger relationship.
Which is another way of saying you get to experience God.
Yeah. Grace is from God.
You get to experience God, bro. God meets us in the broken places. Right?
Yeah. It's hard to see him sometimes if we're not in those places.
My oldest daughter, we're talking about dancing. She's literally like, well, I'm pretty sure. I'm not a professional dance dude, but I see all the awards in the room, and I watch her competitions, and I'm pretty sure she's one of the best. Like, she wins at nationals and stuff like that.
Right.
The way that she dances, with the passion that she dances, with the just the impossible emotion for a 10-year-old. I know for a fact that came from wounds that I caused.
Yeah.
I know this.
Yeah, I believe
right?
that.
And so does that mean it's just like Paul said, well, should we just sin so that grace may abound?
No.
Heck no, but
No,
we
the
should.
intent can't be there.
But we should be conscious of how this place works, this matrix that we're in, how God works, how life works. How, so we don't beat ourselves up, so we don't fall into guilt and shame, and expect something of ourselves and other people that is not only impossible, but not even good or helpful. Our when we hurt another human being, that is an opportunity for them, not just for the relationship, your relationship. Forget it. Let's say there was never even any reconciliation. That's probably almost even better for them and God, so that they can get from God what they never got from the person who hurt them.
And that, hopefully, right? If that's who they turn
Hopefully.
to. Yeah. Hopefully, if that's who they turn to.
Yeah. So I made a lot of definitely mistakes, but I never would have gotten to what I now know is my life's purpose, which is to turn around and help guys who have gone through similar things, similar loss, and hopefully even meet them before that, so that they never have to do it in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, there's great beauty and stuff, and that can come out of pain, deep levels of pain. I have a not like a secret or anything, but I've been. It's kind of like, I'm a Christian guy. I have been ever since I can remember. I grew up in a great church with really good people, youth groups, and all that stuff.
You're lucky,
I was
blessed.
lucky. No, I was lucky that I had that. And my dad was unfortunately an alcoholic, hardcore functioning alcoholic.
Yeah, you're unlucky. You're not
unlucky. But
maybe
I had a very interesting childhood. I'm the youngest of three boys. My mom was love incarnate. My mom was the best, and she's passed. And my brothers, and they were like a defense system for me. They really shielded me from a lot of that anger and
abuse,
violence, abuse from my father. They took the brunt of it.
Wow.
But what I'll say is, it obviously created such a strong bond between us. Mm-hmm. And I had my moments with my dad as we got older that we reconciled a bit. I mean, he's been gone 20 years now. I've lost both my parents years. It's been a long time. And so I've had a lot of loss and a lot of pain in my life. However, it has made me appreciate relationships that I do have with other people. And I think I've been able to use that pain as a way to help them, because I'm understanding of, I'm not just sympathetic, I'm empathetic to their issues, to where they're at. But I was alluding to something else earlier. I'm a huge fan of Tool, which is sounds like Tool is a band that's been around since I was in high school. Yeah. Right, everybody knows who they are.
Vicarious.
Right, there you go. 10,000 Days album. Now, they're kind of a hardcore, they would seem like an anti-Christian band, which in some ways that might be true. In other ways, I think it might not be true. But I think the lead singer comes from such a place of pain because of the relationship he had with his mother and the loss of his mother after a torturous long time that she lived basically as a vegetable for a great deal of his adult life, from childhood through his adult life. And I think all that pain is what helped him produce some of this amazing music.
Yeah.
Right. And so I'm using that as another analogy of, when we have these challenges and these losses and this pain that comes at us, it can create such beauty in our ability to create or to be artists or to be whatever industry that we operate in. It's like if you're able to tap into it and redirect it in a way, it's incredibly powerful. It can't be something that's forced or faked. It has to be authentic.
Point. Yeah.
It has to be an authentic thing.
And that is something that you cannot control.
Right.
It's like trying to surrender and let go. For years, I've known that was the key. That was what I needed to do.
And I want
you can't just wake up one day and say, "Okay, I'm letting go. God, your will be done. I'm done."
Were you coming to this? Were you coming to this moment in 2011, 2012, 2013 when the breaking point for you in life?
That's when things stopped working.
That's when things stopped working. So I want to know from you emotionally, where were you at then? Because you were in a kind of a dark place, a lonely place, probably a place where you just felt like, what's my purpose in life? Were you questioning things?
Well, it was actually kind of strange because it was two things at the same time.
Okay.
It was me getting everything that really I'd ever wanted.
Yeah.
Which is financial freedom, my own family. And I was even like doing good for the church. I was checking all the boxes.
Yeah, right.
Right. But then at the same time, with my businesses, I had 5 businesses going, and they were all automated, and I had people installed to like run them.
Sure.
And my one main business, which was a SaaS company, in 2013, I had just gotten to the point where it was automated. I had installed a CEO, and I didn't need to do anything.
Yeah.
And that is specifically when things started taking a turn.
Yeah.
Everything had been my whole life, pretty much.
Working hard, waking up with energy and passion to make the next dollar, make the next deal, right? Create the next business, put the next person in position to run it, and so you're passively collecting on it, like that kind of thing.
To be honest, that was not my number one passion.
Okay.
My number one passion was myself.
Okay.
It was self-development.
Working on yourself. How can I get better?
That was at the core of my life.
Yeah.
Personal growth was the top number one value. Even though I had God, I had Jesus, I knew that everything was from him. I knew that everything that I was doing was because he was allowing it, blessing it. I knew that, right? But it was in here. It was in my head, right? I'm not sure there's a way to get head knowledge to heart without pain and suffering.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure there's a way to do that. So my way of thinking my entire life has been work on yourself and everything else will take care of itself.
Right.
Right.
If I'm good, I'll be good for everybody else.
Everything. Well, and you just attract all good things.
Sure.
Jim Rohn. If you want to if you want to attract good things, become an attractive person. The Secret, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right. That really works. Right. Until it doesn't. Until you come to this point where God moves you to it's like you beat that level of life. It's almost like life is kind of like this game, and you beat that level.
Yeah.
You win the money game. You win the self-control game.
Yeah.
You beat all those giants, and now you move to this new level where it's not about you. It's not about acquiring skills and success and learning things, making connections in the world, and getting yourself situated in this world, which is what the first half of life for men is all about.
Yeah.
Right? That's Carl Jung. I didn't make that up or anything.
Right.
But the second half, and especially if you're that applies to every human being on the planet. But if you are a Christian, you're talking about different stages in the spiritual life. So that all lines up with like the third stage of, there's this book called The Critical Journey. There's 6 stages in your spiritual walk. And the third stage is essentially about being productive in the world, and it lines up with pretty much everything that I just said. The next stage that you move into, it's all about spirituality. It's all about discovering who you actually are, right? Yeah. It's all about turning your will over to God's will. And that is a very disorienting...
It's not your will be done. Thy will be done.
Yeah. And up until then, you may have even been saying those words. I was. But I was also self-aware enough to know that it wasn't actually happening. But I would have super honest conversations with God. I would say, God, I pray for your will to be done, except for I know that I don't mean that 100%. And
but I still like this stuff.
But I would tell him that.
Yeah.
And I would say, talk to God like he's your father, because he is. Yeah. Just have a normal conversation with him. Yeah,
people, I know. People struggle with prayer. And
like,
I'm like,
let us pray for food.
Dear God, there's no Father. Right words. I get down on my knees almost every morning first thing I do when I walk in my office. I get on my knees at my desk. I try to not even hit my keyboard or get the screens to pop up, right? I just put my keys down and get down on my knees and just pray. Now, in a perfect world, I would do that first thing when I woke up in the morning, but
that's your thing.
But my thing,
your thing might look completely different.
Exactly. It's different for everybody, and it should look different. What fits your life, right? The fact is, something hits me that when I walk in there, it feels right to me that I gotta first be in gratitude and thank God for all the blessings in my life, because there are way more blessings than there are hardships for me. I could focus on those things if I want to, the loss of my brother to brain cancer, the loss of my mother to cancer, the loss of my dad 20 years ago, the loss of friends, all this stuff. I could focus on those things. Funny thing is, when we think of hardships, what do we think of? We think of people, don't we? We don't think of, when I lost that thing, that watch that was really important to me, or when I lost my car. No one cares about that crap, because it's just material baloney. It doesn't matter. When we think of tough moments in our lives, they're typically revolved around a person or persons, family, friends. And so I start in gratitude. I thank him for all my blessings. I pray protection over my wife and my children, wherever they are when they're not with me, of course, and my home. And then I just pray over my week and my coworkers and this building. And I usually recite some scripture that hits me in the moment, because I think it's really important to know the word.
Super important.
Super important to know the word.
I wouldn't have survived
and
without
internalize the word. Internalize the word. Don't just recite and memorize for the sake of it. What are the words? Say them slowly. Say them multiple times.
Picture it happening,
right? And then and sometimes they're short prayers, maybe a minute. Sometimes I'm down on my knees for about 3 or 4 minutes, and my knees are starting to hurt, because I have more to talk about. But isn't that like a normal conversation you would have with anybody?
Yeah.
Sometimes they're quick. Sometimes they're a little longer.
Yeah.
You're not pre-planning your conversation with your friend. You just call in your friend because you want to chat.
Yeah.
Well, that's God, man. And we can do that anytime in our day. And I think that's kind of what you're getting at.
Well, yeah.
A little bit.
And what I'm saying is, whatever it is you don't feel like you're doing right, or you just tell him. He already knows.
I know. He already knows you're
you might as well just say it. So it's like, Father, your will be done, right? Because his plan's better than your plan.
Yeah.
His plan for this podcast.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have a plan for it. I told God this morning, I didn't even really pray much except for, God, I want this to be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah.
And just, like, do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Father, I know that I'm praying this, but I don't really mean it, and I don't feel like I have access to that piece of me that is able to do anything about that.
Yeah.
Right? Please change my heart. That's probably the number one prayer that you could pray. God, please change my heart. I've been praying that my whole life. And he'll answer that prayer over time, and it usually won't feel all that great.
Oh, it's
like I currently prayed that prayer, Father,
Yeah.
I pray that your will, what you want, that sounds so religious. I can't stand religion. I don't even go to church. Whatever you want for this day, right? I pray that would happen. Right? That's it.
Yeah.
Chris,
Yeah,
that's my agenda currently,
Yeah.
is to have no agenda.
You don't need to go to, and I'm saying there is something to the community that you can get from going to church.
100%.
And the messages is, that you're hearing from the pastor and stuff. I miss church a lot. But we go, or I catch it online or whatever. But I'm not by any means like the check in the box. Oh, I went, it's Sunday. I know what we're doing at 10:30.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it happens. Sometimes it doesn't. I don't beat myself up over it. I know I'm in the Word. I know I'm in prayer. I do a Saturday morning men's call. We've been doing, I don't know how many years now? 10. I'm on a call at 7 a.m. on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I do miss those on occasion, but I try to always attend. And it's a great group of guys. Anywhere from 10 to 20 guys are on the call, and we share, and we usually have it's topical, and we get real with each other. And
That's what Comeback Kings is.
yeah, man. It's great because obviously there's a lot of things that we can talk about, but just the accountability side of it.
Yeah.
For us men, for people everywhere anyway. And I'm saying men because I am one, you're one, and I can only really speak from that.
2 men.
Yeah, exactly.
For me.
Yeah. Everybody needs an accountability person or group in their life because we can't go this journey alone and think that we're going to have it all figured out. We need to learn from other people's stories, other people's experiences, other people's failures, and stand on their shoulders as they can stand on ours sometimes. We can see things more clearly than they can in their own life.
That's mentoring. Accountability to me is these guys are going to be talking about us.
Sure.
They're going to be talking at this higher level about what I know they're going to be talking. If I'm not actually doing things to progress in my spiritual life, I'm not going to fit in.
Right.
With that conversation. Right. So without even setting any accountability standards, which I'm a little bit kind of trying to do, because I've yet to have one single man confess something to me that has not been immediately set free from it. And their life just took off like this.
Yeah.
Confess your sins to one another. James 5, confess your sins to one another and you will be healed.
Oh, sure.
It's the most incredible, most beautiful thing. Every meeting that we have now, somebody is telling their story for the week, and it involves some crazy thing, but man, they got it out.
Yeah.
And that thing's not going to have a stronghold in their life.
That's exactly right.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah, it's a very, very dark place to be. Sorry, I'm like, phew. Spittle like falling off my lips.
You're sure.
It's a very dark place to live, to be holding on, to internalize things that you're not proud of, things that you're embarrassed about, things that you're ashamed of.
It makes you sick.
It makes you totally sick.
You're only as sick as your secrets.
And it's a burden that only,
as they say,
only God can help you with.
Yeah, but he does that through other people.
Through other people, of course. Right. Yeah.
Mainly, I think.
Yeah.
And so for me,
whether we confess to him or to others,
which is very much, we're splitting hairs to say that there's something different.
Yeah.
Right there, right?
Yeah. Yeah, not holding on to it.
Love the Lord. Well, what I'm saying is others, God, when God said love, you should love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. And the second is like it. shall love your neighbor as you love yourself. So and then we've got the parable of the sheep and the goat. What you did to the least of these, you did to me.
Yep.
We are all parts of God. We are partakers of divinity. We are living and moving and having our being in Christ, in whom all things fit together and are held together, in whom who everything is from and for. And you and I, my spiritual mentor of 25 years, my spiritual father, I asked him one time if we could, if the curtain was pulled back, right?
Yep.
The dimensional curtain.
The Wizard of Oz curtain?
No.
No.
Well,
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe that's a good analogy. And we could see the other side.
Oh, yeah.
The veil. If they pulled the veil down, what would we see? And he said, what you would see is like in this room. I said, what would we see in this room right now? Like, you need a mentor like that. You need a you're talking about my spiritual mentor. His credentials are just through the roof for 25 years, 30 years maybe. I've been bringing every single question about the Bible, about the world, about life to him every single week and just going down the line. Okay, well, what does this mean? Well, what is this? He's got his doctorate in theology from Dallas Theological. Not that that's like
Oh, but
a must.
Dallas is considered one of the greatest institutions in the world.
Super
theology.
solid. But he's also like very worldly wise. Like he knows how the world works.
Yeah.
Get a mentor like that. I pay that forward for. I've always asked him. I'm like, how? I don't know how any Christian gets anywhere or survives without you, without a guy like you, right? Without a spiritual mentor, disciple, like as some people would call it.
Yeah.
Almost nobody does, right?
Right.
And so I think that's why almost everybody is screwed right now.
Yeah. A lot of
Because
people are suffering in silence.
They're disciples of the internet, as John Eldridge said. And when I talked to him about
he's the author of Wild at Heart, right?
all those books, great stuff.
He's a great author. Yeah.
Well, what I'm saying is if you're not rooted with a mentor who's guided you through the word and into the truth, right? Because you cannot do this on your own. This is not us. It just doesn't work like that. You're going to watch this YouTube video and go with that guy, and then you're going to watch another YouTube video with some self-acclaimed prophet giving you the word for. You'll just be all over the place, and things are getting so confusing online right now.
Oh yeah,
that it's like, and hardly anything's real. So this is what he said. Here's what you would see in the room, if we could see. God would be everywhere. He would be filling everything. And you and I would be connected. So just think about that. God's everywhere, which includes your spot on the seat.
Sure.
And my spot. We're splitting hairs to say that there's very much difference between you and me and God.
We're part of the creation, right?
We're part of the body. Yes. Yeah. Jesus came to redeem all of creation. All of creation. And he's doing it through the cross, that we are filling up in our flesh the sufferings. What's that verse? That we're lacking in the sufferings of Christ. We're filling up in our.
I don't know, but
Paul said.
It's probably, I'm going to say it's probably Paul in the New Testament.
Yeah.
I do like to think that as long as people are rooted in anything that's from Jesus' lips or from the older New Testament, that as long as it's rooted there, it's safe.
It's a solid rock to build your life from.
And I think what happens is, so many people who are following some guidance or some YouTube celebrity, or somebody that's in name your outlet, name your platform, if it's not rooted in those things, then you can get off track, and they could be saying a lot of good stuff, but if it's not rooted in the Word, it could become dangerous. It could, and it's not a overnight thing. This is something that typically is
So to
over a period of years.
That's right.
And people get kind of pulled away, and then they're confused, and they don't. And it's really, I don't know. You kind of see it with a lot of people. They become disillusioned and confused, and can't make sense of truth anymore.
That's part of the value of community. Because you can bring what you think into the community.
Yeah.
Right. And the collective wisdom.
Yes, right. Like you said, like what the Amish do, and they come together and they vote on
Nobody's
stuff.
100% right about everything.
Right.
But if you got the right group of guys, you've got some 75%ers, some 90%ers, some 99, some 60. Collectively, the truth is there.
100%, yeah.
And so some craziness that you heard over here, it's not gonna survive.
No, it won't. It won't be able to survive. That's right.
But yeah, Satan is insidious, and he creeps up on you, which kind of brings us back to we never fully got through my story.
We're just both ADD tangent
all
guys,
over
right?
the place, man.
It's okay. I'm used to it.
It's a bad habit. I need to get more structured. I had built myself into, humanly speaking, I was so strong. I was impenetrable, right? But if I'm being really honest and looking back, okay, well, why? What was driving that, right? It's the same thing as driving most men. You're building a wall around yourself.
Sure.
Right? To protect yourself.
Yeah, right. You build your own little castle.
And then you lock yourself in.
Yeah.
And you don't know what the heck you did with the key. Satan may have stole the key. Now what? You're trapped. Jesus came to set the captives free. Right?
We work really hard and for many years building our castle, right? And fortifying
to not have to
it.
connect.
Yeah. Interesting. Because, I've heard so many highly successful people. Jim Carrey has a great quote out there. I hope people get everything that they ever wanted.
So they can realize
that's not what it's all about.
Yeah. I've experienced both. Rock bottom, mountaintop. Mountaintop may be worse. And that is where you get everything you thought you wanted.
Yeah.
And you realize
empty. There's an emptiness.
It's not enough.
Yeah, not enough.
It's never enough.
Never enough.
Nothing's ever enough.
No.
There's always somebody with more stuff. There's always somebody. And sometimes it's not even about that.
Yeah. I've heard so many people. I've heard Super Bowl winners win the Super Bowl.
Get depressed.
And they're miserable.
Depressed.
People who are ultra marathoners, right? They got to do another one. They got to do another one. How many of these have you done? 50. Is it? It's just never enough.
What are you?
It's that feeling
worshiping.
What
are you worshiping?
Why
are you alive?
You ever read a really thick book? Of course you have at some point in your life, right? A big one, like a monster that was really good.
Yeah, like 1,000 of them.
Yeah, sure. And that feeling while you're reading the book, you just can't wait for the next page. It's like a really good Netflix series. Honey, I guess we're watching another episode. I guess we're watching another episode.
You don't even have to hit the button anymore.
You don't even have to hit the button. It just goes right to it, right? You know how it is. It's that feeling of what's next? What's next? What's next? And then it ends. And then you're like, well, now what?
Well, guess what? Your life is going to end the same way.
I know. Now what? That great book's over. Now what? That's the finite nature of our flesh, right? But we're spiritual beings inside a fleshly body that have the capacity to have an eternal life.
that fleshly being that's now what, and needs the next thing.
Yeah.
That is what Jesus came to crucify.
That's right.
For this we know, Romans 6:10, when Christ died, our old self died with him.
Yeah.
And so we've got to accept that sacrifice and place ourselves on the cross with Christ and try to connect with our own life. We're running from our lives. We're running from the little boy who got hurt in childhood and when he was a kid and scared out of his mind. That's what everybody's running from. They're running from themselves. And so Comeback Kings isn't about making comebacks to, getting your mansion back and your Lamborghini and it's about coming back. It's about turning around and coming back. Right. To yourself, to God, to the kingdom.
The prodigal son.
That's 100% correct.
Yeah.
But it takes courage to do this because in the world's eyes, it's weak. I guarantee you right now, in the world's eyes, I personally look weak. I promise you. Not to people whose opinion I would care about.
Right.
To those people, I'm a superhero right now.
Yeah, they're still living in their land of success. Thank you so much for listening to the Strong by Design podcast. If you found value in today's episode, please subscribe so that more people can find out about our show. Plus, you don't want to miss any future episodes with the amazing guests and topics we have lined up for you.